welcome back to Amaze Math today. And for our lesson, you're going to learn completing squares. Now you need to know the general formula of, or rather you need to know the general form of completing squares. So f of x is equal to a into bracket x minus h squared plus k. Now example. So let's say we have f of x is equivalent to 2 into bracket x minus 3 squared plus 5. To find the turning point, you're taking the part that is in the bracket. So, and then you equate it to 0. So x minus 3 is equal to 0 and you get x as 3. Take that value and plug it in this equation. So we have f of 3, what will be our value when you do the substitution? So 2 into bracket 3 minus 3 is 0. When you square it times 2, that is still 0, plus 5. So when when x is 3, then the answer will be 5, and that will be our turning point. So it's 3, 5. That's the turning point. So when you take the original general form, let me write it again. So f of x equals to a into bracket x minus h squared plus k. You just need to memorize this form. Then you take this portion, when it is negative h, make it a positive, and this will be your k value. So that's your turning point. So we can do another example. Let's say now we have a negative number. Consider f of x is equal to negative 2 x minus 3 squared plus 5. So take that portion, x minus 3. Sorry, let's remove this. Is equal to 0. So x is 3, and therefore our equivalent y value will be 5. So the turning point is 3, 5. Now to determine whether it is a maximum or a minimum point, you look at the a value. So if the a is less than 0, then it's going to be a maximum point. In this case, this is going to be a maximum point, and the maximum value will be 5. So 5 is the maximum value. When we look at the previous question, so because it's a positive 2 and a, when a is greater than 0, then that one is a minimum. So this one is a minimum value, minimum point, or rather. So we can try one more question. So let's say now our equation is in this format. So f of x equals to 2x squared minus 12x plus 7. So we need to leave it in that form of completing squares. The first step you're going to do is to factorize out the 2. So that means you take 2 outside the bracket, but now we're going to use a square bracket. Then inside it we put x squared minus, we take each term, or rather we take the first two terms only, we divide it by 2. So 12 divided by 2 we get 6x. And then you can close the bracket and add 7. Next part is to complete that square. So we put 2 into bracket, and to do that you're going to take x minus half of b. Half of b is 3, square it, then you minus the same half, which was negative 3, square it, and then you can add it to 7. So the next part, we're going to open this part. So we have 2 into bracket x minus 3 squared. That will give us negative 3 squared is 9, so minus 9, close the bracket, plus 7. Now we remove this bracket, this 2, we multiply it by 9. So it's going to be 2x minus 3 squared. 9 times 2 is 18, so minus 18. Then now we can add our 7. So now we have 2 into bracket x minus 3 squared minus 18 plus 7 is negative 11. And then this one is in that format of the completing square. So from there, our turning point, we said if this one is a negative, make it a positive. So it's going to be 3, and our y value is negative 1. So this is our turning point. Now to figure out whether it's a maximum or minimum value, we're going to look at that, the a value. So in our case, our a is greater than 2, making it a minimum point, and the minimum value is going to be negative 11. So negative 11 is minimum value. I hope that makes sense. We can try another question. So let's say now we have f of x is equal to 3 minus 4x minus 9x squared. For this one, we need to rearrange them so that we start with the x squared. So I'll start with negative 9x squared followed by negative 4x plus 3. Then from there, we factorize out the negative 9. Then put your square bracket. So divide the first two terms only by 9. So you're left with x squared minus 4x over 9. Close the bracket. You remove this bracket first. And then you add your 3. The next step is to do the completing square. So negative 9 into bracket. We take x minus half of 4 over 9. Half of 4 over 9 is the same as 2 over 9. X, sorry, no x, we remove the x, put a bracket and then square it. The same value, we take it minus into bracket negative 2 over 9 squared. And then now we're going to do plus 3. So now let's open the bracket to multiply out this with that one. Maybe I can start with this part. So I'm going to do negative 9 into bracket x minus 2 over 9 squared minus negative 2 over 9 squared is the same as 4 over 81. Close the square bracket plus 3. Now we can multiply the negative 9 with 4 over 81. And that will give us negative 9 into bracket x minus 2 over 9 squared. So that is 36 over, let me do it on the side, we have 9 times 4 over 81. So you can cancel 1, that is 9 times, we get 4 over 9. Okay, let me remove this one. And remember, when it was a negative 9 and this one is a negative, so it's going to make it 4 over 9 to be a positive plus 3. So we add these two parts. So 4 over 9 plus 3. So we get negative 9 into bracket x minus 2 over 9 squared plus 31 over 9. So in this case, our turning point, we take that one is a negative. So now it's going to be a positive then 31 over 9. So that's our turning point, and because our a is less than -9, it makes it a maximum point, and the maximum value is 31 over 9. The maximum value. Yes, so that is it for our lesson today. In the next session, I'll teach you how to use roots of a quadratic using alpha and beta. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please consider subscribing if you feel like this video will be beneficial to our year 11 or any other person. Feel free to share with them. And remember to comment, subscribe as usual, and like the video. Thank you for watching. Bye. Until next time.